Okay, everybody, welcome to the yoga set sequence flow. We're going to begin this morning's class with 3 rounds of sun salutations A, and then we work through our sequence of postures. Remember that your body can be, you can adapt these postures to suit your body. If you need to drop to your knees, you can drop to your knees for any of the chaturangas. Likewise for the upward facing dog postures, if you want to drop to your knees, it becomes a cobra pose rather than an upward facing dog. On any of the down dog postures, if you feel that your shoulders are a little bit tired or your wrists are uncomfortable, take it down to a child's pose, okay? So I'm just going to get started and let somebody else in through the waiting room, and then we'll begin. Lovely. Come and stand at the top of the mat, please, in your mountain pose. So your mountain pose, you can have your feet in a hip width stance, or you can stand with your toes and heels together at the top of your mat. It is just personal preference, what works for you, but try to adopt the same posture each time. Okay, let's stand up as tall as we can, lengthening through the crown of our head, drawing our shoulder blades back and then softening them down. Let's just take a few deep, slow, steady inhales. Inhaling and exhaling gently in and out through your nostrils now, please. Nice, gentle inhale and a nice, gentle exhale. So let the breath guide you now as we flow through our sequence. We'll use our next inhale for upward salute to tall mountain pose. Inhale, rise. Look to your thumbs, stretching upward through the core of your body. As you exhale, take a swan dive to the floor. And on the first round, it's nice just to bend your knees, relax your neck, and take forward fold. So in your forward fold position, try to get contact, please, between the upper body and the legs. Relax your neck and shoulders. And then as you inhale, we go into half fold or flat back pose. So some of you will be happy here, tips of the fingers on the floor. Some of you may prefer here, hands to the shins. And again, it is just personal preference. Do the one that works for you, half fold. As we step or jump back now, we're going to chaturanga. So from your high plank pose, you can drop it to your knees or you can stay on your toes, control the body to the floor. Inhale, lift your heart. Come up onto the tops of your feet, open through the front side of your body, upward facing dog. And then as you roll over your toes, you're coming into your down dog pose. Push through the fingertips, push through the palms of your hands, engage the core of your body. Try to lift your hips to make that V shape, upside down V, downward facing dog. Just holding your position here, trying to build strength overhead, pushing with the arms, and trying to get a good old stretch out through the back of your body. Press the heels towards the floor, tucking in the chin, gazing into the navel. One more inhale here. And then on your next in-breath, look to the top of your mat. Now you can step forward, jump forward, or hop forward, but you come back into your mountain pose, please. Head down, forward fold. And then as you inhale, you're going to stretch out, reach out, come all the way up to the top of the mountain. Exhale, arms to the sidelines of your body. 2 more rounds, just flowing a little bit quicker now. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive down to the floor, forward fold pose. Relax your neck and your shoulders. As you inhale, gaze forward towards the top of your mat. And then as you exhale, step or jump back into a plank pose for chaturanga, heart to the floor. Inhale, lift your chest, look up, upward facing dog. And then as you exhale, rolling over your toes, to come into your downward facing dog. So building the overhead strength now, pressing and pushing with your arms, engaging the core of your body, eyes looking into your navel, pushing and pressing through the balls of the feet, trying to encourage your sitting bones to stay in the peak of that V shape, really stretching out the back of your body now, inhaling and exhaling. You've got 2 more breaths. Try to think about your posture. Create the best possible posture you can. Inhaling and exhaling. 1 more breath here. And on your next inhale, lift your gaze, look forward to the top of the mat. Step, jump or hop to come back to your mountain pose. Exhale, the head is down, relax your neck and shoulders. And then inhale as you rise through upward salute. Look to your thumbs, Exhale, arms to the sides of your body. One more round. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jump back, press down. Inhale, lift your chest, look up, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes and hold your down dog. So we're here for 5 breaths. Pushing and pressing through hands and through the feet, encouraging that peak, that V shape. Pressing and pushing through the fingertips, through the palms of the hands. Pushing down, not just through the toes, please, but through the balls of the feet. And if you want to, you can pedal your feet out. Some people like to do a little bit of pedaling out here. And again, that's just completely up to you if you want to pedal out the feet. On your next inhale, lift your gaze, look forward, step, jump, or hop to come to the top of the mat. Exhale in the forward fold pose. And then inhale as you rise. Tall mountain. Exhale, arms to the sidelines of your body. Well done. So the sequence begins now. I'm just going to let someone who's a bit late in. There we go. Perfect. The sequence begins now with a series of spine bends. So in every backward bend, side bend, or forward bend, you want to really stretch up first. So up first and then bend or twist. So feet into your mountain pose. As you inhale, stretch the arms up. Interlace the fingers, cross the thumbs and release your index fingers. Push and press the heels of your hands tightly together and push your pelvis forward towards the front of your mat. Okay, squeeze the hands tight together, get tall, and then just start to warm up the spine into your half moon stretch. So we're going to work to the right side and then to the left side. We're going to keep our hands firmly bound together, pushing the heels of your hands tight, keeping the palms closed. Okay, stop now at the center, press through your feet, inhale, rise. Exhale, half moon, right side. Okay, so you bring your body over and across. Your upper body moves over towards the right side and your left hip moves out and away towards the left side. So squeeze the heels of your hands together, push your hips away, stretching out both sides of your body, pressing firmly through your feet. Inhaling, exhaling, try to stretch out a little bit more. Inhale and exhale. One more breath here. And then as you inhale, rise to the top of the mountain pose. Okay, get tall first. Inhale, up we go. Stretching out both sides of the body. And then exhaling as we come up and over into our half moon. So we're not crunching into the lower back, we're pressing into the feet. We're stretching out through both sides of the body, bringing our bodies over and across to that half moon. Keep pushing the pelvis forward to keep your body nicely in alignment. Push the hips away. And then on your next inhale, we're going to rise. Inhale to the top. Exhale to take a forward fold. Fingertips to the floor, tuck in your chin. So from the side view, I'll show you the side view. We're just wiggling the hips. I'm not lifting my heels. I'm just flexing right knee, then left knee. So this has a nice therapeutic mobilizing effect on the hips, the lower back. Just do that a couple more times. And then we stop and we use our hands to make little cup shapes like so. Cup the fingers. And then we take those little cups and we slide them underneath our heels. Now, that is the desired position. It doesn't mean that every single person is going to get here today. But if you can, get the tips of the fingers underneath your heels and get your pinky fingers side by side. Then try to tuck your forearms behind your calf muscles, pressing your torso to your thighs. Now that we're in the position, we're going to relax our neck and we're going to start to pull. Lifting your hips up, pulling your head and your upper body down towards the floor. Now, if it's impossible for you to get the fingertips underneath the heels, then you can hold your ankles or, you can bend your knees a little bit more. Just modify things so that you're working towards the posture, and every time you come into it, do try, because there will be a time where your body will have adapted enough that you can get the bind or you can get a little bit further. So never just presume that you can't do a thing, keep trying. Let the top of the head drop towards your feet, lift your hips to the sky, pull with your arm strength, taking a nice deep forward fold pose, stretching out the back of your body. Inhaling, and exhaling. And then release the fingertips from underneath the heels. Soften your knees. Inhale to rise through an upward salute. Look to your thumbs. And then exhale, arms to the sideline of the body to the mountain pose. Well done. Second round, we just go a little bit deeper into the postures, but we don't hold them quite so long. Inhale, reach up. Interlace fingers, cross thumbs, release index fingers. Squeeze your hands tight together. Push the pelvis forward. And then really stretch and lift. You're trying to lift the rib cage away from your hips. Get tall. Into right side half moon, exhaling as you come over. Now try to find yourself in the position where you finished off on the first round. That same depth in the posture. Come all the way into pose and then inhale. Push down through your feet and try to come just a tiny bit further. Stretching out through both sides of the body, both sides of the waist. Press the hands tight together. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale to rise. Well done. Push the pelvis forward. Lift the rib cage. Get really tall on the in-breath. Inhaling here. Up and then over into the left side. So left side half moon. Make sure no one is twisting your spine. So your spine's moving side to side here. No rotational movements here. Push the pelvis forward. Bring the body over and across the left side. Squeeze the heels of your hands tighter together. Keep your armpits open. Tight, strong grip. Push your body into pose. One more breath. And then as you inhale, rise. And as we exhale, swan dive to the floor, forward fold. Wiggle those hips. So feet stay flat, just flexing through your knees. Releasing tension from the low back area. Last 3, 2, 1. Well done. Okay, get the binds by cupping the hands and then standing on the fingertips. Yes, it's awkward at first, but it is worth the effort. If you can tuck the forearms behind your calves, press your torso to your thighs. Relax your neck. Inhale now. And then as you exhale, stretching your legs out. So what you're trying to get is the forehead to the shins, top of the head towards the top of your feet. Pull with your arms. That's why you've got that bind, so that you can pull. And you'll feel the torso sliding down the legs a little bit closer now. Top of the head, closer to the tops of your feet. Taking that strong forward fold pose. One more breath. And release. Release the fingertips, soften the knees. Inhale, upward salute. And then exhale, arms to the sides of your body. Okay, working into a backward bend now. So take your hands here onto the lower back. Now I'm going to show you to do it in 2 ways. So you're either going to be here with your hands supporting your back, or you're going to go with your arms overhead. So let's begin with the arms here. We're going to press our pelvis forward, push down through your feet, and lift and lengthen through the front side of your body, okay? Arching your back, lifting your chest, pushing and protecting by using your core, hands onto the lower back. So this is level 1. Okay, if this is a strong enough backward bend for you, then I want you to stay here. However, if you want to take a deeper backward bend, hands to prayer, point the fingertips towards the sky, and then stretch and open, pointing your fingertips back to where your eyes are going to follow, looking back, stretching back, opening through the front side of your body. Inhaling and exhaling into your backward bend pose. One more big breath in. One more exhale and release. Lovely. Okay, standing in your mountain pose. Step your feet hip width distance apart. Toes are pointing straight ahead. From here, we're going to go into a series of 3 postures, which will build leg strength and shoulder strength, and also a little bit of hip flexibility and mobility. So stretch your fingertips out, and then stick your bottom out. It's always nice to see this one from the side. Stick your back side out, lead with the hips, and then bend your knees and come into the deepest squat posture that you can manage. Well done. So your big toes are pointing straight ahead, and you're pressing firmly into your heels. Can you stretch the fingertips even further forward? Can you push your hips even further back? So you're going to get a feeling of stretch between your shoulder blades as you lengthen those arms. As you press the hips back and down, you're getting a nice big crease here at the hip. Hip mobility, leg strength. Keep stretching and reaching and focusing your eyes to one single spot, which we call the drishti point, so a focal point. Look to it, hips back, chest lifts a little bit more. Keep reaching through the fingertips. Okay, we just transition to the next posture by inhaling, coming all the way up onto a tippy toe balance. So try to get as high as you can onto the tips of the toes. Keep the shoulders back over your hips. Now we're going to lead with the knees. Shoulders over the hips. Bend your knees, don't lean forward. Keep balancing on the tippy toes and start to squat down. So what you want to find is that your shoulders are sitting above your hip line. You're not hanging forward. You've got your heels nice and high and your tummy muscles are engaged. Okay, eyes focusing straight ahead. Try to lift your heels a little bit more. You should be feeling the work in your thighs. No one leaning forward. That's the way. Focus your eyes. Breathe nice and slowly, gently in and out through the nostrils. You've got one more breath here, inhaling and exhaling. And then you're going to push to rise and drop your heels down. So for the third part, we kind of put parts 1 and 2 together. So feet are in neutral, hip width, knees come together. As you come down, you're going to feel your heels will naturally lift. So as you squat down, you initiate the movement from the knees, tracking forward, and then you come down to sit down onto your calves if you can. Now, if you've got any knee problems and it doesn't suit you, it's not comfortable, it's painful on your knees, then just modify it. You don't need to come all the way down. However, if we can, we've sat right down, we're resting on our calves. We're going to keep our upper body on the vertical and we're going to lift our hips just 1 inch, just one. Keep pushing your kneecaps down in the direction of the floor as you keep your arms extending from the shoulders and your spine in a vertical pose. Inhaling and exhaling in and out through your nostrils. Feeling the flow of breath. Control it in and out through your nose. Lift your heels. Organize the shoulders back over those hips. Make sure you're balancing on the toes, using your core to hold your body in the right line. Okay, we take the next inhale to rise. So inhale, rise to the top of the pose. Drop your heels and drop your arms. Well done. Okay, standing in your mountain pose. The next posture is eagle. So stretching out the arms like an eagle. Wrap the right arm underneath and then try to bring the hands together in 2 twists. So 2 twists with the palms meeting in prayer pose if you can, in front of your face. Now everybody's body's different. If your shoulders don't like it, you can just give yourself a hug. But if you can, hands in 2 twists, prayer pose. Squat deep. Lift your right leg across the left thigh. And then can you see I'm trying to tuck my foot behind my calf muscle. So align everything to the center of the body. So if you think about your elbows above the line of the tummy button, and your knees just below. Try to wrap and squeeze your legs a little bit tighter. Try to wrap and squeeze your arms a little bit tighter. Focus to your breath. Lift the elbows up a little bit higher. Push the hands away from your face now as you wrap and tighten and squeeze. Well done. One more breath. Lift the elbows a little bit higher. Push the hands away from your face. And then we can release. Lovely. Back to the mountain pose. Roll the shoulders. Inhale, stretch the arms out wide like the eagle. Left arm wraps to the bottom this time. And then bring your hands together into 2 twists. And again, find a way to do it that suits your body. squat down, get your balance, your focus, lift the left leg up, wrap it up, wrap it over, and then try to tuck your foot behind your calf. And then alignment through the center of the body. So you can think about your knees being underneath the line of your elbows just above your tummy button in a line. Press down into that squat, wrap the legs tighter, wrap the arms tighter, and then lift your elbows a little bit higher. Okay, focus your mind. Organize and regulate your breath. Push the hands a little bit further away from the face. Hold your position, squeeze and tighten. Elbows higher, hands pressing away. One more breath. And then we can release our eagle pose. Well done. So drop the arms to the sides of the body and then just rolling the shoulders around. Again, releasing anything that feels as though it needs a little roll around, a little mobilize. And then we're going to move into a series of balancing moves. So press down to your left foot and bring your right knee up and hold the kneecap here. So you have a choice. If you know you've got sort of tight hamstrings or your balance isn't brilliant, then stay here. This is your pose. If you want to, you make a peace sign grip and you hook around the big toe. And then you stand up nice and straight and tall. Okay, focus. If you've got a big toe bind, you can kick out. And if you're holding the knee, just stay with it, stay as you are. Okay, so everybody's got their chest up. Everybody's looking straight ahead. Find a drishti point, a focal point. Well done. Push down into your left foot. Keep your torso lifted. Don't forget to breathe. You've got 2 more breaths here. Just holding this pose, breathing, balancing, focusing. And then on your next inhale, we take the leg out towards the right side. So stretch the leg out or keep holding at the knee. You don't need to kick out here. As you hold the knee or the toe, that's your bind. And then you're going to turn your focus so that you're looking over your shoulder. Looking over the left shoulder, keep your chest in a nice tall position, upright position. Don't hang forward. Gazing over that left shoulder. Just 2 more breaths, standing strong on your balancing leg. 1 more breath. And then gently bring your leg back to center, hands to the hips, or arms can stretch up overhead, a little bit more challenge. Inhale, let's work the hip flexor, lift the leg a little bit higher. Exhale, inhale, exhale, that's it. So standing balance, lift the right toes a little bit higher, working on your balance. Well done. Focus your eyes, lift the toes a little bit higher. 1 more breath here. And then we can tap down. Lovely. Back to the mountain pose, stand tall. Taking the same 3 balances to the opposite leg. So your right leg becomes firm and strong. And the left knee comes up here. Option, stay here. Or make a big toe bind, reaching between the big toe and the second toe. Lift your torso, don't hang forward. Choose, stay here, or kick it out. Well done. So just try to listen to the sound of your own breath. Inhaling, exhaling, thinking of your own posture, where your shoulders are, how you've aligned yourself. Just breathing nice and slowly, nice and steadily, in and out through the nose. And then on your next inhale, the leg travels out towards the left side, and your focal point turns over that right shoulder. So choose now your position, and then keep your eyes fixed to that one single spot as we hold ourselves tall. Just 2 more breaths, inhaling and exhaling. 1 more breath, inhale and exhale. And then everybody meets back at center, hands to the hips or arms stretch over your head. Now strengthen up the hip flexors as we inhale Exhale, take the toes a little bit higher. Get your toes stretch up towards the sky and reaching either arms overhead or hands to the hips. Now, you can focus on your standing leg, pushing down into the floor. Lift your toes a little bit higher on that left foot. One more big breath in. And release to the floor. Lovely. Standing in your mountain pose. Just notice the effects of the postures on the body. You can feel your heart pounding, perhaps beginning to get a little bit of a sweat on too. Well done. So we're working hard. We're going to move into our dancer's pose now. Right palm goes sunny side up. Left leg will be the balancing leg. Pick up your right foot from the inside and then bring your knees together. Okay, in this posture, you need to have balance, but you also need to sort of kick. You know, you have to sort of energize the posture, kick into it rather than just sort of hoping that you'll hold yourself up somehow. Take the left arm to the sky. Now, if you're really wobbling, you don't want to kick, you can stay here at the top of the pose and just work on your balance. But if you can, focus your eyes, point your fingertips to the direction that you're focusing in. As you kick that right leg away, the big toe starts to come up over the back of your head. Now, it's a two-way thing. I'm kicking, but I'm also pulling. I'm kicking my foot into my hand, and I'm pulling my foot towards the sky. Kick and pull. Bring your body down, kick and pull. Two more breaths. Hold your posture, kick and pull. One more breath and release. Nicely done. So we stand back in the mountain pose and we switch to the opposite side. So it doesn't matter if you wobble, it doesn't matter if you fall out, just come back in. Stand firm on the right leg, connect through the foot, and then lift up the left foot, catching the foot from the inside arch. Okay, now knees are in alignment. Reach up through the right hand. Now kick and pull, kick and pull. Into your dancer's pose. Big toes start to come up over the back of your head and you're reaching with those fingertips out in front. And your drishti point becomes where those fingertips are pointing. Don't play it safe. It doesn't matter if you wobble. We all wobble. You can all fall out of a posture. It doesn't matter. Kick up. Toes come up over the back of your head. Pull with your arm. Kick with the toes. Hold it. Higher, higher, higher. And release. Well done. Everybody stand in their mountain pose. Just noticing the effects of your postures on your body. Okay, one more balance. Balancing stick, warrior three pose. Reach up. Step forward with the left foot. Transfer the weight of your body to the left foot. As you bring your torso down, your right leg is stretching away, stretching out behind you. Torso down, leg up. Arms reaching up by your ears, stretching out towards the top of your mat. Right big toes stretching out towards the back of your mat. Now, it's a balance, but you need to make sure that you're really stretching in this balance to give your body that tension. Stop it falling over. Really reach with your arms, reach with your leg. Try to get a capital T shape with your body. Hold your pose. And tap down, well done. Back to your mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Right foot steps forward. So again, transfer the weight of your body through the right foot. Press down into the right foot. Kick the left leg out and up. Bring your chest down. Reach your arms out in front. Take the leg out behind. Get that feeling of tension in the standing leg, using the thigh muscle. Using the buttock, reaching, stretching, holding that capital T shape with your body. Hold your position. Don't hold your breath. Hold it for 3. Hold it for 2. Hold it for 1. And then gently back to your mountain pose. Well done. In the mountain pose, we transition now into our hip opening sequence. So we're going to look at stretching things out a little bit more in your body, hip openers. As you inhale, take your arms up here, step out feet about, shoulder width distance apart as a rough guide, and then turn your feet towards the right side for pyramid pose. Press down through your right foot and your left foot. Stretch up first, making the front side of the body long. Lengthen, tip forward from the hips, lower back, bringing the fingertips to the floor. Now, the front knee may need to stay a little bit bent. That's okay. Tuck in your forehead towards your kneecap. And then some people like to separate their hands, or some of you will stay on the prayer pose. That's absolutely your preference as well. Okay, so engage your stomach muscles. Try to pull everything upwards and inwards. Draw the forehead to the knee. Pulling up through the legs, your thigh muscles active, backside muscles active. Relax your face, relax your jaw. Draw the forehead onto the kneecap. Inhaling and exhaling. So if you're finding it really easy, if you've got two straight, strong legs and the forehead's on the knee and there's not much stretching going on, step your back foot in, perhaps 1 or 2 inches more, and that will give a little bit more stretch, okay, if you need it. Keep pressing both heels onto the floor, and as you inhale, we're going to push through the ground. So use your feet, your foundations as you inhale. Start to rise, lift your head and heart up on the in-breath, and then turn toes, and then turn toes all the way round for the second side. So we're going into pyramid pose, left side, lift the chest up, inhale here, and then come forward, and then come downward, fingertips to the floor, forehead to the kneecap, pressing both feet down into the floor. And again, you may need to soften your front knee, that's okay. You may need to adjust your stance so that you can get both feet flat on the floor. Just pulling up through the core of the body, pressing your forehead onto your kneecap. So we've got 2 more breaths here. Try to press through your feet for stability. Try to draw in through the belly. Try to press the forehead to the kneecap to get the stretch in that left side hamstring muscle. Okay, let's rise. Press through the feet. Inhale to rise. Lift the head and the heart. Turn the toes. Stand in the mountain pose. Exhale, arms to the sidelines of your body. Side angle pose. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, step out. Bigger step this time. Nice long step, a nice wide step. Then turn out your right foot. And make sure both feet remain pushing down through the pinky toe edges, not collapsing into the arches of your feet. Now, bend your right knee to come into pose. And your right knee, encourage it to push towards the pinky toe edge of the foot, not collapsing and rolling inwards. So get depth in the posture, bend the right knee as much as possible so that you can feel the hamstring muscle gets parallel to the floor. Hold your pose. Press firm through your feet. Inhale, reaching upwards, and then exhale to side angle pose. So the right arm can rest here on your thigh, or you can bring the hand down to the floor. It's your decision. The left arm is actively stretching up overhead, and both feet are pressing down into the floor. Keep the arm up by your ear as you push down through your feet, engaging the core of the body, active thighs, squeezing the buttocks, reaching up and across. Get the hips down a little bit lower. And if you can, look into the open palm, lowest palm. One more breath here. Let's push the ground away. As we inhale, we're going to rise up. And then we're going to turn out left side. So push down into your lunge. Okay, so in a lunge, you want knee and ankle in alignment. I'm not allowing the left knee to roll in. Stretch through the fingertips, press into the pinky toe edges of your feet. And as you inhale, stretch the right arm up. And as you exhale, come all the way into a side angle pose, extended side angle pose. You can stay here with the arm on your side, or your hand can be placed down on your mat. And it is preference. Well done, great postures everybody. So I'm checking you out and I'm noticing that we've got a nice deep knee bend in our left leg. That looks fab. Your hips are not lifting. You're stretching and reaching through the right palm. You're looking into the palm drishti point. Keep the right thigh really firm. Don't let your knees soften. Press into the pinky toe edges of both feet. Let's get 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. We're done. 1 more breath here. Now as you inhale, use your feet to push. Push to bring your body to an upright pose. Sit together. Exhale, arms to the sidelines of your body. Well done. Inhale, rise up. Step it out. Stretch the arms out. We're going into a forward fold. So a forward fold comes from the lower back. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Lift your chest up first of all. Inhale, open. And come down to halfway. Now, I'm going to turn to the side on it so you can see. I'm going to hold the backs of my thighs. I'm going to slide my hands down the back of my thighs. And as I'm coming down, I'm trying to pull my torso between my thighs. And as I get down to get the bind, I'm trying to hold the outside arches of my feet. Now, if you can't manage to get the outside arches of your feet, then you can hold your calves perhaps, or the thighs, wherever that bind is taking you to. Try to keep your body close to your legs. Inhale, and the point of focus is to look down into the mat as you try to bring your forehead a little bit closer. So the idea is forehead to the floor, stay long through the neck. And the reason why we're holding on to the arches or wherever we've got that bind is so we can pull. So let's pull. Pull with your arms so that the forehead gets closer and closer to the mat. You should be feeling strong old stretch now in the back of your body and the hamstrings. Inhaling, exhaling, coming down a little bit more, lifting the hips up a little bit more, pressing into the balls of the feet, not hanging back, just into the heels. Inhaling, exhaling, head comes down, hips go high. Inhale, exhale, hips to the sky, head to the floor. 1 more breath. And release. Release your bind, push through your feet. Inhale to lift the head and heart. Keep inhaling as you come all the way to the top of the pose. Step together, tall mountain. Exhale to your mountain pose. Lovely. Okay, so we're going into a balancing posture before we come down onto our mat work. I want you to stand on your left foot for tree pose. So tree pose. Left foot to the floor, right foot can be placed here below the line of your knee or here above. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is just kind of decide what feels right for your hips, for your body, for your balance. Try to think about your standing leg rather than thinking about, you know, balancing or this leg that you've lifted. Think about the leg that you're actually standing on and how firm it is, how strong it is. When you feel you've got your balance, you can bring your hands into a prayer pose at the heart center. And just take some nice, deep, slow, steady inhales and exhales through your nostrils. That's it. Try to relax your face and your jaw. Just allow yourself just a few more moments of breath here. That's the way. Doesn't matter if you wobble. Doesn't matter if you sway around. And then as you inhale, lift the arms gently overhead. And then as you exhale, you scroll branches of your tree, gauging the thighs, the pelvic floors. And down, relaxing your shoulders. 1 more breath here. And then slowly we release. Release your knee carefully, bring it down to the mat. Then we're ready to balance on the opposite side. Right foot presses into the floor. Using the whole of the foot, all 3 arches. Bring the left leg to the tree pose, either below the kneecap or above the kneecap. So again, you know, if your hips are tight, perhaps there isn't room for you to get your foot above the kneecap. You know, your hips are stopping you from doing that. So just kind of listen to what the body tells you. Don't press on the kneecap itself. That's the golden rule here. You're going to push quite firm through your left foot, so you're not going to push on the kneecap itself. When you find your balance, you can bring your hands to a little prayer position. your heart center. Just noticing little things about your own body. Can you tighten up that standing leg? Can you organize the shoulders on one line? Well done. And then as you inhale, take your arms up. Just stay here. And then as you exhale, stretch it out, grow the branches, and hold your pose. Standing really tall, really proud, really strong. Inhale and exhale. And then we can release. Release your tree pose. Come to the back of your mat. As we inhale, we're going to upward salute to the tall mountain. Look up to your thumbs. As you exhale, swan dive down. Remember, as always, you can bend your knees. Walk forward and come into a high plank position. So a plank pose is core strength. I want you to use your core strength so that your hips don't drop towards the floor, exaggerating the arch in your spine. So a nice long line begins in the back of the head, runs right down through the line of the body, all the way to the back of your heel. Okay, keep your tummy muscles engaged, squeezing into the center line of your body, inhaling and exhaling. If you've got any wrist injuries and you need to drop it to the forearm, then it's absolutely fine for you to do that. And if you find it's hard to keep the line in your body, the core, then you can drop your knees to the floor. It becomes a half plank instead. So there's always a way that you can just modify things, that you can build up. And then as you exhale on your next breath, you're going to go all the way down. All the way down, take the tops of the feet, rest them on the floor. We go into a cobra stretch now. Take the hands on the mat and slide the hands forward so the fingertips are in line with the top of your head. Okay, so the idea is now we're going to warm up the whole of the spine into backward bending. So if you press into the tops of the feet and take a nice inhale, lift your chest forward and then start to lift the upper body away from the floor. So we're not lifting all the way up. You can see I'm keeping my forearms down, my palms are down. I've just lifted my heart, really, my chest. Lift the chest forward a little bit more. Try to stay long through your neck. So we avoid crunching into the back of the neck. So even though the drishti point is to be looking upwards, we're not crunching into the neck as we gaze up. Lift the heart a little bit more, press into the tops of the feet. Try to feel their hip bones pushing into the floor as you lift the chest a little bit more, getting as much thoracic movement as we can through that chest area, releasing tightness in that section of your spine. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, draw the shoulders away from your ears, a nice long neck. And then gently and slowly we come down. As we come down, we take a press up position. Hands in line with the fingertips in line with the top of the shoulders. Arms in close to your body. Inhale here, and then exhale to push into your press up pose to high plank. Inhale, exhale, push, make a plank pose. In your plank pose, you've got a strong neck, long neck. Your hips in line with the shoulders, not dropping, not too high, so that you can feel it in your center. Try to pull in through the core of your body. More advanced students will perhaps want to lift up the right foot for 3 breaths. And then you can swap it to lift up your left foot for 3 breaths. Again, that's more advanced, that's making things harder. If it's already hard enough, stay where you are. Just one more inhale, one more exhale. Hold your plank pose, and then exhale to take your body all the way down. Next posture is the lotus pose. We have our feet together, and we stretch our arms out. So now we're working more into the center of your back, the middle of the back. Feet together. As you inhale, you're going to try to lift as much of your body off the floor as you can. So nice and controlled. As we inhale, we start to rise. Head is lifting, chest is lifting, arms, kneecaps, thighs, taking into a backward bend. Get your legs up a little bit higher. Get your chest up a little bit higher. Try to work into a nice long neck. Gazing upwards, toes are up, chest up, arms up, hold your pose. Inhale, exhale, just 2 more breaths, best possible pose now, working into the center of the back. And then gently we come down, well done. As you come down, you're going to align your fingertips underneath the shoulders, ready to push into your plank pose. Inhale here, exhale, push. Up we come, we're in a plank pose again. We've got a long neck, we've got a strong core. So think about curling your fingertips a little bit so that you recruit the muscles in the forearms and the shoulders to support your work. Push into the palms of your hands. Keep your tummy tight. And again, more advanced students may wish to lift their right toes to become a 3-legged plank. Hold the right toes up for 3 breaths. And then swap it so that you can hold the left toes up for 3 breaths. Now, you don't need to do a 3-point balance, and you can always modify it to your knees if it feels too much. 1 more big breath. Hold it at the top, and then exhale all the way down. Lovely. So we're working into the bow pose now. It's going to stretch out the front side of the body and build strength in our back. Bend your knees, reach round, grab hold of your feet. Roll your shoulders in towards the center of the spine and push your hip bones down into the floor. Okay, let's start to activate our legs as we push our feet in through the palms of our hands, kicking our heels away from our backside. Now let's try to pull with our arms and kick with our feet. And what we create is our bow pose. The chest is lifted, the knees and the thighs lifting. Keep kicking and pulling. So we've got 50-50 effort through the arms and through the legs, kicking and pulling into your bow pose. Well done. So stretch out for the front of the body, the thighs, the lower abdominals, chest, the shoulders, all getting a chance to stretch here. But keep kicking and pulling into that backward bend, contracting the back muscles getting stronger. 1 more big breath, best possible pose. And then exhale, release your bow pose and just take a counter pose here. Moving into your child's pose, just encourage your hips to go back slowly into child's pose. And your forehead can come down onto the mat. Well done. That's the way. And you're just allowing yourself just to release yourself down onto the floor. Inhale and exhale. Okay, 1 more time for plank. Let's come right down onto our tummies. Let's align the fingertips underneath the shoulders. Inhale. And then as you exhale, push and press through the palms of your hands. Curl the fingertips. Use the wrists, the shoulders properly. Shoulder blades down, neck long. Again, if you want to, you can lift your right foot off the mat for 3 breaths. You can modify it to the knees if you want to, if it's too much. Or you can just stay on the toes. If you're balancing 3 points, switch to the opposite side now. Lifting the left toes. Everybody keep working through the core of your body, pulling in. Don't let your back sag into a hammock shape. Keep it straight and strong in that plank pose. Okay, everybody all toes to the floor. Inhale. Exhale as you go all the way down. All the way down onto the mat. Push back into your child's pose. Hips go back. Lovely, and then rise up for camel. So we're going to do camel pose this morning. Took out one of the backward bends earlier on, just so we can have time to work into this camel. So take your hands round onto the lower back here. So this is like the standing backward bend that we did, near the warm-up sequence. So the idea being is that you create length through the front side of the body so that you're not crunching into your lower back. So push the pelvis forward. Walk your hands in so they're as close together as you can get them on your back. Push the hips forward and then lift your chest up and then start to arch into your camel pose. Now you can choose. So you can stay here Or you can take your right hand to the heel and the left hand to the heel, but then you must be pushing your thighs back into the vertical pose afterwards. Your thighs staying vertical in your camel pose. Well done. You can stay with your hands on the lower back, or you've gone back to your heels. Get a comfortable position for your neck. You can look straight ahead, upwards, or some people will even look back, just depending on what feels right for you. Lift the heart, push the pelvis forward, stretch out the thighs, the chest, a great opening posture for summertime, really opening the heart, focusing on your breath. One more inhale, one more exhale, and then support the lower back to come up, and then child's pose, counter pose, relaxing the lower back and bringing your forehead down to your mat. So where we have a counter pose, like the child's pose after a big backward bend, really important that you take your time going into that position because you're taking the spine into its opposite range of movement. You don't want to pull or strain anything. So forehead down, hips back. This nice easy breath through your nose. And then we're going to take a vinyasa. We're going to bring our hands onto the floor. We're going to push up into our plank pose. So plank pose, from plank pose we chaturanga. You can do it from your knees or your toes. Heart comes towards the floor. As you inhale, your belly slides low along the floor, and then you lift your chest and you look up. And in the upward facing dog posture, you can always drop your knees to the floor if it feels too much. Roll over your toes and lift into the downward facing dog, and just holding it for one breath here as you lift your hips and press through the hands and the feet. I'm going to ask you to kick up now, kick up, cross your ankles and bring your backside to the floor. Well done. Okay, let's stretch out the legs, and then let's bend your right leg and bring the sole of the foot in towards the inner thigh. Now, if you're not comfortable sitting like this, you can sit like that, okay, in a little straddle. But if you can, fold the leg in, sole of the foot towards the inner thigh. Make sure that in your seated postures, you can actually feel where the bony part is. You know, that bony part in your hips and pelvis pushing down into the floor. If you put energy into your quad muscle on this left leg by flexing the foot, that has quite a good protective mechanism for your knee. Also allows you to stretch a little bit deeper. So flex the foot if you can. Stretch up first. So our rule is up first before we come forward. So inhale upwards. And then exhale as you move your chest forward. And then you can reach in the direction of that foot. So notice that I say in the direction of. You don't need to be hanging on to your foot here for it to be effective. If you can, then why not? And try to really feel that you're stretching out from the lower back, making any little hip adjustments here, and then folding in so your torso presses to your thigh. When you can feel that, you can drop your forehead to your knee, perhaps. Okay, so get the torso to the thigh before you try to think about getting your forehead to the kneecap. Anyone with a tight back or tight hamstrings may need to keep the left leg slightly soft, and that's okay to do that. So just taking it again to where you feel you can, forehead to the knee. Inhaling and exhaling, pulling the toes back, forehead to the knee, getting a stretch. You will feel the stretch on the right side, quadratus lumborum, lower back area. You may feel the stretch in the hamstrings a little bit or a lot, depending on your flexibility here. Pressing into your best possible pose now, forehead to the knee if you can, flex the foot, pull, and then release all the way up, come up tall, let's switch it over. So fold the left foot in towards the inner thigh and stretch the right leg straight out in front. Again, if you can feel that there's contact between the bony parts and the hips, and that's exactly what you want to feel. Flex your foot if possible. Switch on the quad muscle, stretch up first, and then come forward. So think about where you're coming forward from, the lower back, stretching forward first, trying to bring your chest towards your thigh. If you need to bend your knee, that's okay. And then you can just sort of breathe and try to, get a better position. So, you're usually holding these postures for about 6 breaths, sometimes a little bit more, but you want to just work on each exhale, trying to sort of find a little bit more space in the posture. Can you organize your hips better? Can you pull more on your foot? Can you press more with the upper body down to the thigh? Just holding the position and breathing. Nice gentle inhales in and out through your nose. Best possible pose. One more breath in. One more exhale and then release. As you release, sit up tall. We're going to cross our ankles as we take a vinyasa. So the vinyasa, the flush of postures that start in plank pose. So let's inhale, reach up. Let's drop our hands to the mat, jump back into your plank pose. Plank pose for chaturanga. Knees or toes, you decide. Chest goes down on the exhale. On your inhale, you lift the heart and the head up into an upward facing dog or a cobra. As you exhale, you lift your hips into the downward facing dog, pushing through the hands and through the feet, eyes to navel. Look forward, lift your gaze, look forward, kick your heels, cross your ankles, back into our seated pose, ready for our spine twist. So twisting has lots of benefits in your body, great for the digestive system, also just great for opening up tight hips, tight shoulders. We're going to take our right foot up and across, and then you can choose. If you've got any knee issues, then you may want to just keep this left leg stretched out. However, if we can walk over, and then we can fold that knee, and we can restack. So either bottom leg, left leg stretched out, or you've got this kind of almost awkward cross-legged cow pose. So knees are stacked, spine is tall. As you take your left hand now, you're going to hold the right knee, and your right arm will make a second spine, so supporting yourself with the right arm. Circle the right arm round as you inhale, and bring it right in close so that it is actually like a second spine. It's close into the back of the body, pushing down through the heel of your hand. Try to lift your chest and your upper body, so we lengthen up, and then we get a little bit more twist as we exhale. Inhale, get as tall as you can, and as you exhale, you're pulling with this left arm, and it gives us room to rotate. And if you can think of your rotation from the bottom, from the hip area first, so think about your spine rotating, just above the hip, and then rotating through the chest area, through thoracic spine, and then rotating through your neck, eyes looking over that right shoulder. So inhaling, sitting as tall as you can, pulling a little bit more with that left arm as you find a little bit more rotation through your spine. That's great. And one more inhale, get tall. One more exhale and twist. And gently release back to center. So again, stretch the legs out to the front, give them a little shake off, and then lift your left foot up and across. And again, optional to keep the legs straight or to roll, fold, and then push your hip bone. Now, the sitting bones themselves have to be down on the mat here, so there's no point in crossing your legs and then feeling that you're leaning all onto one buttock, okay? So with your spine tall, use your right hand now to pull, and your left hand will make a second spine. Circle the left arm round to the back of the body, plant the heel of the hand in close to the lower back, lift your heart, lift your chest, and then turning from the lower back through the thoracic, through the chest area, and then through your neck. Feel that rotation movement through the core of your body. And again, we're staying active in the posture. We're trying to pull a little bit more with our right arm. We're trying to get really stretched up, and then feeling that rotation, that twist. You get a nice stretch out for your left buttock and hip here as well. So stretch up on the in-breath, get the rotation in and out through the nostrils, goes that nice easy yoga breath. Just 2 more breaths, as tall as you can. Show me really nice postures. Well done. Use that second spine. Sit up really straight. And then slowly we release. Everybody comes back to the center. We shake off the thighs and we take a final vinyasa before Shavasana. Cross your ankles. Inhale, reach. Exhale, plank pose and chaturanga. So jump or step back into the plank. Take your heart to the floor as you exhale. As you inhale, lift the head and the heart, look up, upward facing dog. And then as you exhale, rolling over those toes, into the down dog, upside down V shape. Eyes gaze forward, then kick up your heels. Cross your ankles. Come to a seated pose. And then come to lie down for your Shavasana. Well done. So as you lie down onto your back, it's the corpse pose. Let's close your eyes. Deliberately now slowing the heart rate down. Slowing your breathing down. Allow the weight of your body just to sink down into the floor. Close your eyes. Just allow a little bit of stillness. Notice the weight of your legs on the floor, the weight of your arms, the weight of your head. And as you inhale, you're inhaling from the nostrils into the navel, and then from the navel through the nostrils. Encouraging your breath to go all the way down, using the primary breathing muscle, the diaphragm. And notice that your breathing starts to calm the nervous system, bring the heart rate down, creates a nice feeling of relaxation in your body and in your mind. Just lay there just for a moment or two more in your Shavasana. Take an easy breath. And now begin to move really slowly. Just wiggle around your fingers and your toes. Take your time to come up and, move on to one side, roll onto your right side and push yourself up if you need to, using your hands, that's the way. As you come up, you don't need to be cross-legged, just sit with your spine upright and tall. And then to finish our flow this morning, we take a nice big inhale, reach up, we bring the hands into a prayer pose. And as we exhale, we draw the hands down the center line over body. And when we stop here at our heart, just bow our head. Namaste. And thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining in. That was excellent. Well done. I'll just stop the recording. Perfect. Well done, everybody. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon.
I kept forgetting it.
I know. If you get out of the habit, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I know.
But no, it was good.
Out the habit. Well done, everybody. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you.
It will be on the Facebook page and the WhatsApp chat later if you want to use it another time. Okay?
Thanks.
Take care, everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
Thank
you. Bye.
Oh, lucky girl in the sun. Right, where's my leave?